new year. Anyways, hi guys, my name is Emma. Welcome back to my channel. 2024, guys, we did it. We made it. With that being said, it's time for me to organize my yarn. Now my yarn is organized. There's places for it. More so this year, I don't think I've mentioned it. I'm not buying yarn. I'm like calling it a yarn ban, but there are some like exceptions that I'm gonna be making, that I know I'm gonna be making, but aside from that, I'm on a yarn ban this year. So what I'm doing today, I'm kind of combining like a few different, I could probably make this all different videos, but I don't want to. I'm gonna show you all my yarn, which you saw little clips of just now. I'm gonna show you my yarn. We're going to get rid of, like put aside to donate yarn that I know I'm not gonna use. And then thirdly, we're going to separate the yarn into projects I have planned for this year. So I'm going to separate it for the most part so that I'm organized, and then I can just work from there, because I have all the projects but they're all kind of spread out. It's kind of mix and match, so I want to put them in baggies and just have everything more organized. And I don't know if it was clear, but part of the yarn ban and organize is that we're trying to destash this year because I have so much yarn. I'm just one girl. I do not need this much yarn. So not a lot of it, maybe a third of it is what I consider work yarn, and we're not really going to get into that today because that I can't really like, I'll get into that later. But the work yarn is kind of separate for me. But this year we're destashing what I would consider like my personal yarn. Wait, I forgot to mention I bought Ziploc bags. My sister, as we were buying these, she's like, there's probably a better way to organize these. There probably is. I can't think of it, so Ziploc bags it is. Okay, I got a total of one set of yarn in a baggie before I realized that I still felt like I was looking at chaos. So I'm going to go through and put all the yarn I know I'm getting rid of in this bag. I'll probably make a pile or find another bag. I don't know if I have another bag of like the maybes, and I'll leave that to figure out at the end. But for now, I'm going to try to clear space and get rid of the stuff I know I'm not going to use. So starting with this basket, I have a lot of baskets just from like the thrift store for the reason of putting yarn in them. This we're keeping. It's Lion Brand Baby Soft. It's a cake of a cream. It's like 2 strands of yarn, but I just caked them together because I had the same amount. And then this is just pink. That's left over from an order, and it's nice yarn, so if I can find something small to make, I'll make it with that. This is a scrap. Actually, no, I'm gonna get rid of that. I was gonna keep it because I made my sister a basket out of that, and I had a little left over, and I was gonna use it to make a basket for myself and add that to the other ball I have, but I can just use the other ball. I don't need to use the gray. These I'm getting rid of at the thrift store. When you buy yarn, it comes in like Ziploc baggies. I'm getting rid of all these. It comes in Ziploc baggies, and so sometimes I'll want like one specific thing from the baggie, and then I'll have like random stuff otherwise. These two are from my friend. They're the most ridiculous like mixture of fibers. I don't know where she got this from or what, but I think it's absolutely insane. Like, this is what the cake looks like, and this, oh god, this is what the other cake looks like. And I was untangling it in their room, And then there's more like at their house, but they literally live in California. So next time I go, I'm gonna try to keep untangling it because they said I could have it, because it's like crazy. It looks like this, but I think it'd be so cool to do something with. So that I'm keeping, and then I'm gonna keep this one as well for the texture. I want to make like little monsters or something. Actually, I'm gonna put that and this one in the maybe pile for now, because I really don't know how I feel about it, especially the year I may or may not have. I don't know how I feel about things I don't know how to make yet. So this is interesting. This is what I had left over of the beanie I made my dad for Christmas. And then I looked down into one of the baskets of thrifted yarn I had, and I had thrifted, oh, the lighting is so bad. I had thrifted the same yarn. And so I was going to get rid of this because I was like, oh, wow, that's not a whole lot to do much with. But this might still not be a lot to do much with. But it's more, I think it's workable. So I'm going to keep this now. That is so cool. Little spotlight on this yarn I found that I completely forgot I had. Sorry. Sometimes people drive by my house real slow and I'm like, what are you doing? But anyways, so I don't even know. I think I also got this at the thrift store. And there was no tag or anything, and usually they have tags. But this one was really cool because look at, hold on, let's hope if I can focus this. And that's how all of it looks, but look at these colors too. So, this is a pretty big skein, and I'm hoping I can hold it with something maybe, like find a plain black yarn, because I don't know how much this is, but I have faith that it'll make a top or something. Not a top, maybe a vest. I don't want to make a scarf. I want to make something with this because I love how it is. That's why we're keeping her. Okay, so this bag I don't have a specific, I have specific projects. I'm just making this my February bag because, checking my list, these are going to be a top. This is going to be part of a bag, but it's the yarn I've set aside. The rest of the bag will probably just be regular acrylic, which is like, again, my work yarn. So that's already in the boxes. And then the other thing I have planned for February are some bunnies. And I'm going to use up this blue yarn from Hobby Lobby. Not my favorite place to buy yarn, but I was there and it was on clearance. So I got 4 of these for $3.24. And the regular price is $12.99. So like, it was a steal. Let me show you what that set looks like though. So we're on the floor of my room because this is where my shelves are. And this white and all of this pink are going to be a sweater that I have allotted for January. And then the bunnies, obviously in the blue. And these fit here fine. And they're not bothering anyone. And I don't, oh God. I don't want to waste plastic just to like put them in the bag. So for now, these are going to stay here. This is a pink woolies that will be, it's a plan for later in the year. But these all, this event, like by March, I should say, this will be empty. That's the plan. Okay, we made a little progress. I don't really want to show it yet because it's a little over the place. But the next basket we're going through, I should say, is this one. Another cutie pie from, I think, a Goodwill. And this one, I was going to make a patchwork cardigan. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make a patchwork vest now. Because the cardigan, I want to make it for a concert in June. So, and I think I just wouldn't wear a purple sweater. I might wear a purple vest a little more. So, what I'm going to do is, I bought a lot of yarn, like, at random for this. But I'm going to try to see what I can take out. Yeah. So, this one is just an acrylic. I like that it changes color, so I'm definitely going to use this because I also haven't made a patchwork anything ever. So I want to keep materials that I know how to use. These two I think are cotton. They're from spare parts, but they're definitely staying. And this one is definitely staying because, again, they're just basic. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make like squares and stuff like you would any other patchwork thing. This one is also from a secondhand craft store. I love this. I'm going to put this in here, but when I get to the project, if I think I can use it for something small like a bow or a headband or something, I'll leave that last because it's so nice and I almost feel bad putting it in this project. So I don't know. So one I'm for sure not going to put in this vest is this Lion brand Woolly Stick and Quick, because it's a sweater vest and all the other yarns so far are like weight 3 or 4, which I feel like I can use pretty interchangeably. This is literally a weight 6, so this is going to go in my bulky thing. And then this one says weight 3. It's just got a lot of fuzz to it, and I have 2 of these lighter one and then this kind of darker one that's a little different, but they're all from Michael's, and this one says weight 5. So the only thing is I don't know what I would do with this outside of this project. So I'm gonna for sure use these because I can like use it for like the ribbing or something because there's so much of it. I like that there's a lot of it, so I'm gonna keep that in. And then I have this one, which is pretty thin as well, so gonna keep her. I can probably make a square or 2. This one I don't think I'm gonna use for this. I think I'm just gonna put this in my ball of fuzzy yarn, as well as this. I'm gonna put these in my fuzzy yarn scraps and leave that for when am I doing fuzzies? In May. In May, I have all of this fuzzy / furry yarn. I'm gonna make animal stuffies, little monsters, anything I can to go through all of these because I just want to make that effort, I guess. That's going in that. And then I have these 2 Karen Simply Softs that I just bought because they're purple. Again, don't know. I'll probably use these. I think for now I'm gonna put them in the bag, and then yeah, I'm gonna put them in a bag and see if I use them. This is the 2.5 gallon size bag. She's full. And I'm more than positive this will be enough yarn. I just want all the different things, you know? So of my cotton yarn, this is going towards one specific bag, and this is all gonna be market bags. Okay, so the last of my cotton yarn are these 4 itty bitty balls. Again, thrift store or secondhand craft store, I don't remember. And they say weight 4, but they're just so thin. So I can't really group them with my other 2 cotton yarns because they're not gonna like work for the project the way those are. So these are gonna go in this basket, which is a lot emptier than it was, of like miscellaneous, but they're still good yarns. I don't want to like get rid of them. I have so much of this super thin cotton yarn. I have one in this color. Oh no, 2. I have a whole brand new one and then like a partial one of this, and I think 2, 1 and a partial, I think the same amount of the green, of the teal I mean. Actually, let me just show you the green. I started making something over the summer. We'll see if anything happens with this, but I'm gonna put it with that because I think I want to use it together whenever I do make something with it. So despite my hours of work at a coffee shop yesterday, I did make a mistake with my plan. I have it crossed out, but it's not in my chart. So somewhere along the way, I missed putting a scrap sweater into the plan. I have no idea why it's not in there. It's on the list. the list, but it's not in the final list. But I do really want to use up the yarn this year. Let me explain. So on 3 separate occasions, I bought textured green yarn because I like texture and I like the color green. So it was inevitable, I guess. But I have 3 of these Lion brand faux furs. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, like 8 or 9 of these teeny tiny just yarn, Premier eyelash, little teeny tiny balls I got at the dollar store. I have like a bunch of these, and then I have these 2. I think I can't quite tell if they're the same or not. Actually, I might be able to look. Oh wait, no, they're totally different. They just look really similar. And this one is, oh my god, what is it made out of? I know it's somewhere on here. I can't remember anymore. And then this one is mohair, wool, and polyester. But they're textured a lot, and they look super similar actually. So what I wanted to do was make like a fitted sweater top kind of thing, just probably doing them in like in stripes or in sections. Probably gonna do it raglan style because that's the only way I know I can think of that would use them kind of evenly. And then I wanted to, I have to do this later, but I want to buy one thinner, like maybe fingering weight yarn to hold throughout the whole thing. To give it structure, because these are fuzzy and stuff, but they're not super structured. Give it structure and give it some cohesiveness throughout the whole thing with that fingering weight. But it's not on my freaking, I didn't put it on my plan. So I think I'm gonna stick it in the like August, September, October area, because I have really small projects then, because if I transfer schools, like I'm planning to, I have to pack this yarn to move, and luckily, like, this is October and November projects all in one thing. So I think I'm gonna just stick this, and I need August, September, and I'm gonna stick this in that bag, I think. I feel so dumb though. Alright, moved back down to the floor. Part of destashing, unfortunately, means I have to organize things. So I have these. I got them at the secondhand store. And they're patent silk bamboo, which is really cool. It's literally 70% viscose from bamboo and 30% silk. So a really nice yarn. And for whatever reason, I hope it's not a super important reason, they come like on cardboard, and so you can't really like squeeze them to store them because it's like solid. So I'm going to rewind them into cakes because I have a winder. That way I can store them in the basket that my phone is propped on, and I'll have like all my tank top yarn in one basket, but it just doesn't fit like this. So I need to wind that up, but then I also need to go through this because I was at the thrift store, the regular old thrift store, and they had a lot of bulky yarn. Someone had just donated bulky yarn, and I grabbed like all of it, and I threw it all in here. And I want to make a scrap chunky sweater, but I want it to be like the same kind, because I think there's enough of, what is this, Lion brand Hometown, because some bulky yarns, like this Burnett Mega Bulky, is thicker than the Hometown, and I don't want to mix them. So I need to just go through and kind of figure out what I have in this basket, and then separate it further, see what I'm keeping, etc., etc. That took so much longer than anticipated, and my phone is dying, but it doesn't look so much better like this. What I'm gonna make out of it aside from a tank top, I don't know, but now I have a basket of 3 tank tops worth of yarn, so that's cool. So this stuff is weight 4, but it's not like Red Heart and Big Twist and all those like value yarns are the ones that I use for some of my customs, like the dolls that I do. But these are like thinner. They feel different to me, like you can tell. But I have a lot of it, and I don't want to get rid of it because it is still good yarn. And if I can go through it, if not this year, next year, then I will. The only ones I am going to be getting rid of are these Big Twist. I got these I made like a collection with all the different flags and things. I'm going to keep these, but I'm going to get rid of these because I just I don't love how most things work up variegated, and I think it's just harder to make stuff with, especially because they're all singles as well. I'm sure someone else can use them better than I can. So I'm gonna get rid of, what is this? I think these are brand new, and then this one I used for one thing. So gonna be getting rid of those. I have a bunch of this still, but I like this one, obviously. Okay, so then let me show you what yarn is gonna be left then. So this is what the very corner of my yarn area looks like. I have my makeup up here, and the lighting's weird because the window's open, but I'm just going to keep this here. So I'm just going to keep that there. I don't have like a plan for it for 2024 destash. If I get bored or I just finish other projects really quickly, maybe I'll dig into that. I think I could make one of those hexy cardigans. Because there's so many different colors. I think it'd be cool, and those I think take a lot of yarn. I'm gonna cake these up because I don't want them in that, and I'd rather them just be separate and have their own little thing. So I'm gonna cake these up and put them with my little basket of yarn cakes that I have, because I don't have that many that are already caked up. In here I have Simply Soft. This stuff I'm using for this year's temperature blanket. More on that later. This stuff I will take out after I buy the rest of my temperature blanket colors, because I haven't decided what colors I'm using yet. So I'm just keeping the Simply Soft together right now. And I think that is everything for like sorting out this section. Again, aside from the chunky, I'm not going to film that. I'll tell you if I have anything to update after going through that, but I really don't think there will be. So yeah. Okay, so a little bit of a time jump. Had to go out for a minute, but we're back. I pretty much finished all the organizing. So I thought I would just kind of go over everything real quick because I film very sporadically, I feel like, so I don't remember if everything was covered. So real quick, the thing to remember is this isn't including my like work yarn. The work yarn is this what I refer to it as, is the boxes of acrylic value. So my Red Heart, my Big Twist, my Craft Smart at Michael's it's called. Those are all in plastic bins in my sister's room. I can't really destash those because, well, I'm not doing like orders, markets. I'm not focusing on that this year, but I probably will get back to it in the future. So I don't want to like destash 4 boxes of yarn when I can just do it later. Same thing goes with the first 3 sections over there of my yarn storage. In here is all burnout blanket. That's what I use for like my chunky stuffies, like stuff like that. Again, not gonna destash it just for me to have to buy it again if I get back into market. So those 2 things weren't really the focus. That was already set aside, really, in my head at least, for this year. 2024 destash is pretty much focusing on everything else. Okay, don't mind the crazy lighting. I love the vibes of my room, but it's not very well lit. So to start with my cart, this is like my working cart. This right here is a plain old Big Twist, but this top section is for what I'm like working on next. So I've got an order custom from my last round of customs to finish up, and that's what I need to do like next. So that's what I have on top. The second section is these are actually both gifts, but that's what I need to do. Those are like the next thing on my to-do list. And then this bottom section is my last thing I want to do this month. That's my Emma sweater more on that later, but that's like the next 3 things I want to be doing is what I keep on this cart. Okay, because I talked so much about it earlier, I'm gonna go kind of quickly, and I'm sorry again, it's so dark. But here's all the acrylic that I was talking about from earlier. That's gonna stay there for the year probably. This is all the Bernat. I actually don't think I showed this. So I bought 4 of these Bernat blanket ombre yarns to make a blanket, and I did start it. That's what that dark shape is right there. I don't have immediate plans to finish that, so it's gonna stay there. That's another one of the exceptions of if I need more yarn to finish that project this year, I can buy it. These, I'm pretty sure I talked about all of these that is in this section. Those are just the plastic bags are there. And then this is where I kind of put the miscellaneous big yarn. I have my green, let me show this. So I have 4 of these green Lion Brand Jiffy yarns. And I'm going to be making a sweater out of them, but for now they're going to stay there. The blue I was talking about, that multicolored one I was talking about, and that miscellaneous purple that we had earlier is just going to stay there for now. Those 3 sections are the Bernat sections I was talking about. Going to ignore those. I managed to fit all of my chenille and velvet yarns in this section. That didn't change really either. Those are kind of like working yarns, but kind of not. They're just kind of there. These are my in this little in-between, I have the ones that I have set aside for months at a time, just in this section. Starting back on this side from the top, this basket is my designated temperature blanket basket. I like to keep them all in the same spot, and I'm using Caron Simply Soft this year. This basket is my tank tops basket, so these 3 are the yarn allotted for 3 different tank tops. This is my, this basket right here is kind of miscellaneous as well. This is a wool blend. These are cottons. This is that glow one that I didn't get to use over the last fall. This is a silk one. Just really good yarns that I have small quantities of, but I didn't want to get rid of. All my cakes of yarn now. So I have like 2 layers of cakes in here. Again, just nice yarn, or yarn that I don't want to get rid of that just needs a home is in this basket, but they're all the cakes. And then this one is where I had my temperature blanket yarn in 2023. It's a lot bigger. I'm doing a different like style, I guess. These 3 bags are leftovers from last year. That'll be a different blanket later in the year. This is all my furry, fuzzy kind of yarns. Again, plans for that later in the year. And then this is all the purple yarn from earlier for that sweater vest. Okay, almost done. This is a huge thing I got from the thrift store. I think these are like $30 regular price, and I got it for $7. So have no plans for it, but it was just too good to not get. And then those are scraps. And then this pink cart is my storage cart. I have all my patterns, notebooks up here, as well as safety eyes, other tools, more tools. I think these are buttons, my very big crochet hook, all my other crochet hooks. And this one is yarn that obviously just needed a home. This is an old Lion Brand one I got on clearance at work. Okay, and then these yarns do not have an assigned project. I just could not bring myself to destash them. These I got on clearance. These I got secondhand. Both of those actually. Those are just going to live here for if I ever need them or think of something. And then down here, hiding, is, wow, it looks so dark. It's actually brown. You can see it more. Let's get some better lighting. So this is a brown Noro 100% wool, and I have a sweater's quantity of this. The Noro I splurged on in October on a trip to New York, and I don't have it in my plans to work on till December, but I promise there's a method to my madness, and I just needed to make that one the last thing of the year, you know? So yeah, that was my yarn collection slash destash slash organize slash plans for 2024. I realized I don't think I talked about like every single thing I want to make specifically. I'm gonna literally put the doc here that I made, like the chart, if you're nosy and you want to see exactly what I'm planning on making this year, because I know I didn't go into detail for like every single yarn every single month kind of thing. That was today's video. It was good for me to go through everything and just sort it out, make sure I found things that I forgot I owned. I realized I forgot to add something to the list, so you know, it was good for me. If you enjoyed watching and want to see any of the things that I mentioned, want to see me make, I think I'm filming everything. That's a bold statement. I'm gonna film as much as possible of the things I mentioned in this video. But yeah, if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, leave a comment, follow my Instagram, follow my TikTok, all those fun things, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.